Hi RationalResponder, I'm basically sending this as a response video to you. Answering the questions you are asking about the laws of logic. Okay, first I'd like to talk about what we're talking about with the laws of logic. When I talk about the laws of logic, I'm talking about things like the circumference of a circle being approximately 3.14. So in other words, there's a specific relationship between the diameter of a circle and its circumference. So that is what I would call a law of logic. It is a mathematical law, one that is absolute. Some other examples may be the law of addition, the law of subtraction, the law of multiplication, and so on. So these are all mathematical concepts which are well defined and well understood. So there is no ambiguity about these concepts. Everyone understands them, and there are very, very precise definitions of these which can be expressed mathematically. Okay, so let's get on to it. Are the laws of logic material or immaterial? Well, obviously they are ideas in people's heads. The laws themselves are simply ideas or concepts, so they don't exist in the material world. That said, they obviously have consequences in the material world. They are about reality. For example, the example I gave about pi. If you actually measure the circumference of a circle and you actually measure the diameter of a circle, you will find that it invariably is equal to 3.14, assuming it's on a flat plane. So I mean, it's just a natural fact of existence. It's a natural fact. Even if we weren't in this universe, it would be a natural fact. So in other words, in some other universe, as long as you can have flat planes, you would be able to find this as a natural fact. Second question is the laws of logic changing or unchanging? Well, pretty clearly they don't change. The value of 3.14 doesn't change depending on where you are or when you are or even what universe you're in. It's always going to be the same. Now, if you try and modify the precept and say, well, we're going to measure it on a curve, or we're going to measure it on the surface of a ball or something, then you're changing the rules and you're changing the precept on the idea, and it's no longer the same. So we're talking about, with pi, we're talking about flat planes. The third one, are the laws of logic universal or not universal? Obviously, they are universal. They apply equally. Doesn't matter where you are or when you are, just like I said. It just doesn't matter, even if you're actually in a different universe. So it's even, you might say, pan-universal. So that's what I think. But obviously, just because the laws themselves are universal, it takes an intellect to be able to express them. So in other words, you don't see atoms or stars or basically anything else in the known universe, in other words what we know, that can express these ideas. It takes an intellect to be able to express the laws of logic. That doesn't mean that the laws of logic are expressly human. Obviously, some kind of alien on another planet could discover these laws just as we have in exactly the same way. That way, they're universal. They doesn't matter where you are in the universe, you should be able to find these laws, because there is nothing explicit, there's nothing unique about our particular position in the universe or our time in the universe which makes them true. But at the same time, it requires some kind of intelligence to be able to express those ideas or to come up with those ideas, because they are basically abstract. Well, not basically abstract, they are abstract ideas. You don't see dogs or frogs or pukekos making these kinds of calculations. It requires some kind of mind which is able to process them. Anyway, I hope these answer your questions. I'm not quite sure how it relates to the question of God or atheism. As far as I'm concerned, the question of the laws of logic and atheism and or theism is completely unrelated. So anyway, catch you later.